Hi guys, so British farmers have engaged in a bit of a protest at the port of Dover, where they see cheap imports decimating UK farming. Now, since GB left the single market, it has meant a very unfavourable situation for agriculture in particular in Britain. The EU carries out checks and controls on goods moving into the single market, but because the Tory Brexiteer government wasn't willing to get prepared for the same happening the other way, it has resulted in cheap and low quality imports flooding the UK. Here is a clip of the farmers protesting. Okay, now my heart goes out to the farmers because not all of them voted for Brexit. Not all of them believed the lies that were being told by the likes of Jacob Rees-Mogg, Boris Johnson and Nigel Farage. Many of them realised, look, if we leave the single market, we leave the European Union, it's going to be detrimental to UK farming. Unfortunately, I think this protest is a little bit too little too late. And of course, what's the point in protesting outside the port of Dover? Go directly to the source. Protest, I don't know, outside maybe a politician's office. Maybe Nigel Farage, you can go to GB News where he works, you could protest outside there because he's the guy who lied to farmers. Jacob Rees-Mogg, another who lied to farmers. Boris Johnson, another liar. Maybe the protest should be directed at the people who lied as opposed to the port of Dover who have no real control over this. This, unfortunately, is not going to improve. The situation for farmers is not going to improve until the UK rejoins the European Union. The problem at the moment is, as UK farmers are trying to export their produce, fishermen as well, trying to export their produce into the European single market, there are checks. And this drives up the price and in many cases puts them out of business. What's happening at the moment is checks are about to come in. They haven't fully been implemented, but checks are about to come in where it means that produce coming into the UK, into Great Britain I should say, will be checked, and this will add extra cost to EU producers. Now, British farmers have been told since Brexit, get out of farming basically. Rewilding, plant trees or plant flowers or something like that. Abandon farming basically. And a lot of them have been forced to do that because they can't sell their produce into the single market, or there isn't enough of a market in Britain to pick up the slack. So they're exiting farming. And now you have checks coming for goods coming in, which is of course going to drive up prices, and this is going to make it more expensive for food in Great Britain. The farmers can't pick up the slack here because, as I said, many of them have abandoned farming. And of course, importing all sorts of materials that, for example, fertilizer and fuel and stuff like that, is of course driving up prices for British farmers. And those farmers who do remain, who are trying to sell their produce to supermarkets, if they're facing higher prices, they will be priced out of the market because, as we've seen before, the supermarkets will choose cheaper produce imported from, for example, the European Union. So they're in a no-win situation, and unfortunately it's not going to get better until the UK rejoins the European Union and farmers get a better deal. Once again, I really wish they would direct their anger at the liars, the charlatans, the Brexiteers who told them back in 2016, if we leave the European Union, you're going to take back control, you're going to be still able to export like before because, remember, the EU needs us more than we need them. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.